Greetings, family. Welcome to the channel. This is Choices, Tarot and Dreams. And this is going to be a month ahead reading for the sign of Taurus, Sun, Moon, Rising for the month of July 2026. And it's a very simple reading. It's past, present and future. 3 cards. Very simple, very general. And we're just going to keep things short and sweet here. Alright? So, what do we need to know for Taurus for the month of July 2026? Let's have a look. Okay, sure. Taurus. Just line these up. Taurus, man. So we have past, present and future, 8 of Cups, 4 of Swords, and you have the Hierophant. Taurus, what are you going through, man? What are you doing right now? Talk to me, man. Alright, 8 of Cups. What are you walking away from, Taurus? What are you walking away from? So, have you walked away from something? Have you given up something? Have you changed your situation or circumstance in the recent past, in the days or weeks before? Either you have or you're contemplating. Have you made any impulsive decisions? So there's a sense here that you felt that you haven't achieved, that you were in a situation where you haven't felt emotionally fulfilled. In a particular situation, you felt like the only solution was for you to walk away from that situation. Maybe you were looking for something different. Maybe you had expectations and things didn't live up to things weren't cracked, or, all that cracked up to what you thought they would be. You know what I mean? There's, the 8 of Cups to me always, that's like the beginning of the Hermit's journey, right? It's like that's how the Hermit starts. So that's where you begin, but the Hermit is like all the way up here, you know what I mean? When you achieve that level of the Hermit. But it signifies that you're turning your back on something, that maybe you're in a situation, maybe it's a relationship, maybe it's a job, or it's something else, maybe it's family, friends, whatever. Maybe it's a business, whatever. You're moving away from something because you feel like you're not satisfied in that situation. On the surface, it might seem that you've got everything sorted, you've got everything perfect. But you don't feel that way for some reason. You're in search of something else, mate. So that's your recent past. Whatever it is it something that you're contemplating doing? Or is it something that you've actually done? Is it something that is impulsive? Like, is it an impulsive move that you've just acted impulsively to something? That you felt emotionally unfulfilled, or something wasn't all it was cracked up to be, and so you just thought, you know what, I'm just going to give this up. I'm going to move. I'm just going to go my own way. Maybe it was a job. You just walked out on a job, or a relationship, or something. So either it's something that you've done, or it's something that you're about to do, because the present here is the 4 of Swords. The present here is telling you to take a rest. For this month, For this month, you need to just take a step back. You need to relax. That's the message for this month, is don't make any rash decisions. So if it's something that you've done, if it's something that you've already done, if you've walked away from a particular situation, well then this month you need to think carefully about how you're going to move forward. To me, it seems as though the message is for you to just take a step back. You know, if you've been thinking about a situation, or it's a project that you've been working on for a while, sometimes you need to take a step back from that. You need to take time out and just put your mind on. You take your mind off it and just go and do something not related at all. Just take your mind off it completely for, a little while, a day, couple days, a week or something, or a couple weeks, and then you come back at it with a fresh mind, and then you're able to sort of approach it with new eyes, with a fresh pair of eyes, new perspectives, new energy, and you're able to see things that you couldn't see before. You're able to tackle it in a different way that you probably couldn't have done before. You know what I mean? Because if you're in it, you're stuck in it, whatever the situation is or circumstance, or a project, it's always necessary to have periods of time away from it. Take your mind off it completely, forget about it, and then come back to it and approach it again. You see, so that's what you're doing for this month. Whether it's something that you've done or whether it's something that you're contemplating doing, the message here is take your time to think about what you've already done, or to think carefully about what you're about to do. Think about it. Be logical, be practical. Maybe don't be emotional. Maybe emotional regulation is important here. Something else that's important here. If you're walking away from a situation, if you're about to walk away from a situation, or you have already made that choice, you've already done the deed, so to speak, is this a repeating pattern? Is this something that you've done before? And even if it's something that you've done once, that's a repeating pattern. If it's something that you've done multiple times before, that's a freaking red flag right there. You know what I mean? So you need to have that looked at. If it's a repeating pattern, sometimes it can be difficult to see if it's a repeating pattern. If it's a repetitive behavioral pattern, you see, because we're dealing with the emotions here. The emotional world is the subtle aspect. It's very difficult to see. You know what I mean? We're not taught how to look at these things. It may take weeks or even months for you to really figure out if this is a repeating pattern, but you need to really look at that. If it's just a one-off situation that you felt like, all right, it's just a one-off situation that I walked away from, it's not a repeating pattern, all right, fine. The situation is still the same, that you need to take time to really reflect on things. And then, take time away from things to rest, recuperate, recharge your batteries, and then come back at it again. If it's something that you've walked away from, well then, before you make your next move, you need to take some time off this month. Take some time for yourself this month, all right? Take your mind off things, go for a hike, take a vacation for a week or a couple weeks or something if you can. Do something else. Take your mind off whatever the situation is completely. Rest, recuperate, rejuvenate, recharge your batteries. And that's what you're doing this month. That's the message here, all right? So rather than be emotional, regulate your emotions, be logical and practical. Think carefully about your next move. So the Hierophant here, so this is kind of setting you up actually. This is a setup for a spiritual journey. Now the Hierophant, if spirituality is not your thing, all right, maybe this is just sort of learning. By the way, if this is a repeating pattern, if you get the sense that it's a repeating pattern and you might not be able to fully see it yourself, you really need to seek out a psychologist or a therapist who can just probe a little deeper into that, and they will be able to tell you what those patterns are and where they come from. All right, they have experience on this type of stuff, because if this is a repeating pattern, then it's something that's been going on for a very long time. And, you could be 40, 50, 60 years old before you begin to realize that there are patterns of behavior in your life. And it's usually because if you've been through things as a kid, as a child, in your formative years, if that's the thing that you've been born into, it's almost impossible for you to see that. You know what I mean? Because that's normality for you. That's normal. Your body and your mind, your physiology, everything about you is conditioned in a certain way now, when you then go out into the world, and that's normal for you, and that has always been normal for you. It's almost impossible for you to see that until you get to a certain age. You have to, it takes a very sort of prolonged period of time in order for you to be able to recognize the patterns in yourself. If you get the sense that it is, well, then you need to seek out a therapist or a psychologist and tell them, look, you feel like this could be a repeating pattern. Let me have a look at it. If it's just a one-off situation, then absolutely fine. But it seems that you're being set up here for a spiritual journey. Going back to the idea of the the hermit, that this is the beginning of the hermit's journey. You're going to end up here, man, in the distance with the lantern, right? If that's the case, well, then you're being set up for a spiritual journey. There is spiritual insight here. This could be the therapist, actually, in your future, in your near future. Maybe it's a group. Maybe it's a period of study. Maybe there is something psychological, emotional going on here, and then you hit the psychology books to try and figure out what's going on. Maybe that's it. On a deeper level, this is spiritual wisdom and insight from somebody who knows these things, who knows the higher worlds, who is able to give you things from a higher perspective. Maybe they're going to be there. Maybe this is you figuring out why all of this is happening. Why are you going through this right now? You see what I'm saying? So this is all set up. You're being set up for a spiritual journey here, Taurus. It's pretty amazing, man. Anyway, listen, whatever it is that you're going through, take some time off this month. All right? That's the main message. And then that in your future, whatever that is, whether it's spiritual or not, it's a period of study, it's a period of looking within yourself to give you a deeper insight into what's actually happening. Whether it's on a psychological, if you're studying psychology, on a mental level, purely a mental level, or whether it's something far deeper than that. It's something deeper and spiritual and mystical. You see what I'm saying? Listen, Taurus, take care, Taurus. All right? Have yourself a great month, and I will catch you in the next one, all right? Take care.